Hello and welcome back. We are still going through an exploration of a few basics in our Android Studio. So now we want to see if you want to move from one activity to another, or you want your app to have more than 2 pages. How do you do it? So we use something we call the intent. So the intent enables us to move from one page to another page. So it means you have to use the intent, or for example, we want to, when we click a button, it moves us from one page to another. So we are going now to create a simple button that will enable us to move from one page to another. So we can now go, we are going to just come to our layouts here, and we can see there are different kinds of layouts. So currently we are using the constraint layout. So I also want us to learn how to use this space. So this space just enables us to put space between our buttons. So we are going to pick a space, then place the space just right there. So you can see this space is currently free. So we can say, we can give it an ID. So ID, we can say maybe space SP, then we can say 1. So SP1. Then we want it to be a bit wider, so we are going to give it a width. So a width, we can give it in terms of dp. So the width is going to just occupy the whole place. Then the height now is the one which is going to give the space. So you can see we have given it a height, so I was just increasing using this. So depending on what you want to achieve, you can just do it there. So the space is there. So now this space will now assist us to separate one item to another. You might want sometimes to use this space as an place where you click and do something, but for now we just want to use it as a spacer or as something to separate our buttons, because our layout is a linear layout and everything comes on top of the other one. So that's it. So we are going to now place another button, so you can see how it now looks like. So it's a bit more invisible. So now when we come to our button, so we want to place a button that when you click, it moves you to another activity. So we'll come and place a button. So we click a button, then we place a button. So we can come and place our button there. So you can see we have now another button there. So we want this button to, when we click on it, it helps us move to the next page. So we can give it an ID. So let's ensure we click on the button as we edit it out. So we can call it btn move. So you can call it btn move. So that's the ID. So when we click on it, we move to the next page. Then on the text, we can say next. So we can just say next. So when you click on that button, it takes you to the next page. So now we have that. So that's the only thing we're going to do. We can decide to give it a color and all that background. You can choose to give it, but for now it's just something a bit basic. So when we click on next, so we don't want to edit much on this button. So when we click next, we want to move to another page. So this means we have to create the activity or the layout that it needs to move to. So we'll come in. So just right here in main activity, we'll right click, then we'll say new. Then we can come in and say new activity. Then we come and say we want an empty activity. So with this, it will create for us the activity main.xml, and it will also create for us the layout. So we can label this, we can call it, so instead of main to activity, we can call it second activity. So we call this second activity. Then we can now click on finish. So we'll click finish as we wait for it to build and synchronize. So you can see it has created this and has also created our XML. So we'll wait for the configure to be successful, and once it's successful, we'll now have the two of them. So we have activity second, which will be this, and then the Kotlin part. So that's how to create another activity that you may want to use in your app. So for now, we can just close that and this. So we want that when we click next, it takes us to this second activity. So what we'll do, we'll just come to our main activity .xml. Then we're going to say btn move dot set on click listener, and then when we set on click listener, we'll now label there what we want it to do. So we go to our main activity, then we can now come and say btn, then we say move dot set on click listener. So we set an on click listener. So now here we are now going to create the intent that is going to assist us to move from one page to another. So we are going to create our intent. So we'll create a value. So we'll say val, then we say val, we can just name it intent equals to, then we are going to indicate what we want to do. So we'll say val intent equals to, then we call intent. So we'll say intent, so this, so we call that class intent. Then we'll say, so intent this, then where do we want to move? So it simply says you want to move from this activity, which is the main activity, to second activity. So you say from this activity to second activity. Then we'll put our full colon, then we'll say class dot java. So that's how we create an intent. So this intent now will enable us to move from this activity, which is the main activity, to the second activity. And then now we are going to say start activity. So when you click it, then should start the activity. And then what should it use? It should just use this class intent, this value we've created, intent. So now our app is able to move from one activity to another activity. That's quite the simple way to move from one activity to another activity. So that's it for intents and moving from one page to another. So when you execute this program, it should be able to run properly, and when you click on the button next, it should move you from one activity to another. So that's it for this video. I hope then I'll see you in the next one as we continue to explore. Thank you and goodbye.